What's up, guys? This is Alan, and this year something weird is going on. I don't know what it is. The weather manipulation, the government, something is going on, guys. All my fruits are taking longer to fruit. All my cuttings are taking longer to root. The fruits are not ripening evenly. It's just a terrible year to actually get fruits this year. I don't know what's going on, but you know what? Today I'm gonna give you two choices. I'm gonna give you the red pill or the blue pill. So it's up to you which one you want to take, but I'm gonna go ahead and open your eyes. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys. So today is I don't know, the end of April, almost May, and by now all my fruits are like in full force. All my mulberry trees are like completely ripe, and then I usually have more than enough to share with every single body that comes here. But for whatever reason, I've noticed this about a month ago. My mulberry trees took a little longer to wake up. They took longer to actually start flowering and fruiting. But now that my fruits are actually starting to ripen, they're not ripening evenly. And whatever's ripening, they're just dropping to the ground. Let me show you. This is my Shangri-La mulberry. You guys seen it in the past. And it's completely loaded with fruits. But the weird thing is, yes, the fruits are not all gonna ripen at the same time. So we got green fruits, guys. That's normal, okay? But we also have red fruits right here. Now Shangri-La, once it's fully ripened, they will actually turn like almost black. But the problem I'm having is, for one, they are not getting full size, like this one right here. Shangri-La will get twice as big as this fruit right here. Let me go in the sun. And this is supposed to be black, not red. This is not fully ripened. This is actually, if 100% is ripened, this is about 80%, just to give you an idea. I know the difference is the taste. A lot of my fruits are bland, especially the Shangri-La. The Shangri-La is one of the most popular trees that we sell here at the nursery, simply because when people walk in, it's extremely ornamental. As the branches get longer, they start whipping down. But this year, I'm having a hard time finding ripe fruit. And the ones that are actually ripening, they're not ripening evenly. Like this one, it's darker on the bottom and it's red on the top. This is not going to ripen. By the end of the day, if I didn't pick this fruit, it would have just dropped to the ground. This is, a few of them is normal, but to have the entire canopy or most of the tree is not normal. Now, I don't just have one tree, guys. I have a lot of trees. Let's check the Pakistan mulberry now. Pakistan mulberry is even worse. And since the fruits are a lot longer, you can clearly see how unevenly the fruits are ripening. You can see this mulberry right here. It's actually ripe on the bottom and it gets green towards the top. A few of them is normal, but having most of the canopy like that, that is not normal. And having most of the canopy with green fruits like this, it is not normal. I have been here in this house, guys, since 2016. And while I did not have a mulberry tree in the ground in 2016, I know people who had them, and I've seen their trees. And this has never happened. I have never seen this happen, especially going into May. Let me give you an example, guys. Let me open your eyes. Let me give you a perspective. In about 2 to 3 weeks, normally in my area, mulberry season is over. Yes, in 2 to 3 weeks from this time, from the time that you're watching this video, mulberry season normally on a regular year is over. But look, most of my canopy is completely full of unripened fruit. And the ones that I'm actually getting, they're not ripening evenly. So why is this happening, guys? In my honest opinion, guys, I don't know about you, but I woke up many years ago. When I got out of the army, I opened my eyes and I saw reality. I took the red pill. So this year, the temperatures, the night temperatures specifically, have remained colder than normal. Last night, it was 52 degrees right here in this spot right here. And right now, the sun is out, it's 102 degrees. That is 50-degree difference. Your fruits are actually going to ripen based on the night temperatures. They're not going to ripen based on the day temperatures. If your night temperatures are not consistent, dropping 50 degrees day and night, your fruits are not going to ripen evenly. Most of your crops, you're going to lose. So, what's going on? I don't know. This has never happened. Since I've been in Arizona 2015, I have never seen the temperatures change drastically like that, day and night. Last winter, even though it was the coldest winter for most of the US, it was the warmest winter in my property. We only dropped 27 degrees, down to 27 degrees 3 times for the entire winter. I barely had to cover my trees. It was the easiest winter that I had to deal with last winter. Am I complaining? No. But guess what? If you grow fruits, you are going to complain. You know why? Because you're going to lose your crops. Now, the one that I actually noticed first, that it was not a regular year, it was my green mulberry. This is the king white green mulberry, Australian green shatut, white Pakistan. You guys seen this one before. The main attraction to this tree is the fruits are green and they turn whitish color as they ripen. But if you look on the ground, it's completely littered with fruit because they're not ripening evenly, because it's too cold at night and too hot during daytime. But right now my night temperatures should be consistently in the 60s and warming up into the 70s. While the day temperatures can be in the 90s and in the hundreds, no big deal. The night temperatures are normally in the 60s to 70s consistently every single night. Not just one day it's going to be 50 degrees at night, then the next night it's going to be 65, then the next night it's going to be 48. It just doesn't work like that. When your night temperatures are not consistent, your trees are going to suffer. So why do I say this is a conspiracy, guys? Well, for one, I haven't been doing this for a long time. I've only been doing this for, I don't know, since 2015. That's when I got into growing trees. But I pay attention to my environment. And I can tell you, in my property since 2016, my temperatures have never been this irregular. I live in the desert, and having inconsistent temperatures is normal. But this drastically, it's not normal. Just about 2 weeks ago, we had a frost in April. That is completely unheard of. That never happens in my area. And you know what happens when you have a late freeze? Well, for those of you, for farmers, for growers, for people who grow crops, well, if your trees are flowering, even if your plants are able to take the frost, your flowers are not. So let me show you something else that's suffering this year. These are my apricots right here. I got plum. And I got my peaches. Now, it may seem like I have a lot of fruits, guys. It looks like it, yes. But you know what? This tree usually has at least 3 to 4 times the amount of fruits. Especially in my peach over here. This peach flowered early because remember my night temperatures were very warm during the winter time, in the 40s. That's unheard of for me in the winter time consistently, which is it's not bad for the plants. But then we had that late freeze in April and my flowers were completely open. So I lost most of my crop of peaches this year simply because we had that late freeze. That never happens in my area. That has never happened in this property before, guys. Let me give you a perspective. I know most of you watching me right now are in different areas in the US. So for you, April is cold. But let's say it was July and then you get a freeze in your area. How weird would that be? That's exactly how weird that frost was 2 weeks ago in my area. April for me is hot. It should not be freezing during April. Now guys, I don't watch the news because you don't see reality in the news. You just see what they want you to see. What you actually have to pay attention to is what you don't see in the news. And I've been watching some growers, blueberry growers, apple growers, peach growers in Texas specifically, and I've been seeing a lot of the people in those areas losing entire crops, acres and acres of fruits, simply because they're getting a lot of late frost. And they're all saying the same thing I'm saying, that is not normal, that has never happened in the area. So what's going on, guys? I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. I don't know if you believe in weather manipulation or not. I do. I believe that somebody, something is manipulating the weather. And that is actually affecting crops. Most of you watching this video right now are not going to be affected by it. And the reason why is because you just get in your car, go to the market, and then buy your fruits, your vegetables, and go back home. It doesn't really affect you. Who's actually suffering right now are going to be growers. Thankfully, I don't rely on my fruits as a source of income. I don't have to sell fruits to make a living. But a lot of farmers out there, a lot of growers do. I could not imagine losing acres and acres full of apples, peaches, and stuff like that, people are relying to pay their bills. So what are those people gonna do? You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to the bank and they're gonna get a loan. They're gonna get in debt in order to stay alive, to stay in business, because they lost their income for the entire year. And the more I think about it, you have to think outside the box to actually see the end goal of all this chaos. And I think that is just to control you. Because when you go into debt, now you got to pay your loan. Now you are in the system and you're part of the system, and it's very hard to get out of it. And that is just simply because you're relying on your crop to pay your bills. And this is not just happening here in Arizona, guys. This is happening throughout the entire US. So if you have fruit trees in the ground and this year your fruits are not tasting good, or you're not having any fruits at all, or they're all dropping, it's because of the weather changes. Not because of the fertilizer that you put in the ground, not because of the foliar feed, not because of the fish emulsion brand that you're using. It's the weather conditions around your plants. That is a lot more important than anything else you can dump in the ground besides water. Another thing that I actually noticed too is a lot of things are going up on fire. There was just a few weeks ago a dairy farm, I believe, went up in flames, and 18,000 cows die in the fire. So I don't know. And then last year, a lot of meat factories went up on fire too. Why? Why is only our food supply having issues right now? Why is everything going up on fire right now? Well, if you actually think about it, you know why. Because the less food we have in our supply, the easier it is, for who, to control us. And I think that's the end goal, guys. So this is why it's very important for you to be self-sufficient. Grow your own food, vegetables. I'm not a veggie guy. I grow fruits mainly. But you know what? The more self-sufficient you are, for whatever reason, the easier it is to see reality, and the harder it is for people to control you. And like I said, guys, it's not just my fruit suffering this year. My cuttings are suffering. Everything is taking longer to root. A lot of my cuttings, since the night temperatures are steadily too low, they're not rooting and they're rotting before they root. Now that is normal, especially if you start your cuttings early. But if the night temperatures are inconsistent, there's really not much you can do unless you have a climate control greenhouse, which I don't. I'm relying on the weather to grow my plants. And that's the reason why a lot of my plants right now are taking a very long time to wake up. Like this Barbados cherry trees here. Normally these trees are full of leaves right now because my night temperatures are more consistent and warmer. But this year, some of them are waking up a little faster, other ones are taking a lot longer. And when you have a lot of plants, different kinds, different types, different ages, you get to see a lot easier. But if you just have one plant, or if you have a few trees in your yard and you don't see what's going on, because it's a lot harder to actually judge a plant if you only have one or just a few. But when it's all of them doing it in your yard and you have hundreds of trees, if not thousands, and everything is behaving the same way, you know something is going on. I don't know what's coming up, guys. I don't know what I can do. The only thing I know what I can do is I can take care of my plants. I can water them. As long as I have water, I will water them. I will take care of them. But anything past that, I'm lost. I don't know what to do, guys. Back in the day, I joined the army. I served my country. I deployed overseas. You know, I did what I thought was right. But then I got out and I actually saw reality. And I want to do the same thing again, but I can't. Because now, if you do the right thing for this country, they look at you different. You're a threat. I don't know, guys. Hopefully you get the point of this video. And the only recommendation I have for you is start growing your own stuff. Do not rely on the stores to supply your food, because you don't know what's in that stuff that you buy in the stores. Are they putting anything in there that's gonna make you sick? That's gonna keep you sick? That's gonna keep you compliant? Who knows? I can tell you though, the more fruits, the more stuff that I eat, that I grow myself, the clearer my mind gets, and the easier it is for me to open my eyes. So who knows? They may be putting stuff in our food supply just to keep you compliant. Anyways, guys, as always, if you like the video, like it. If you have any questions, if you have your own theories, comment below. Let's share. Let's help each other out. And as always, I will see you next time.